Hi, this is Hank reporting from Kyiv, and this is my update on Russian-Ukrainian war. Let's see what happened around Ukraine in the last 24 hours. Timothy Snyder in Ukraine. How many Ukrainians are captured? Released prisoners of war find out about Kursk. Inventor of helicopter from Kyiv. First ever FPV RPG. How many Shaheds attacked Ukraine overall? $50 million hunt in Crimea. Today at 7 a.m. I went to film a charity run called Run for Freedom here in Kyiv, which was organized to support prisoners of war and their families. Professor Timothy Snyder himself was a special guest. He even gave a welcoming speech in Ukrainian.
Доброго дня, тобі кілька слів. Я вас дуже щиро вітаю, я вам дякую за те, що ви присутні, щоб виразити солідарність з тими, які з нами нема. Дуже ми раді, що ми можемо разом щось робити.
He says, "Hello, just a few words. I welcome you and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here to express solidarity with those people who are not with us. I'm very glad that we can do something together." This is very nice. It's good that such a respected guest learned our language. I know that for foreigners, the Ukrainian language can be difficult. Also, we have many common words. For example, paper in Ukrainian is papir, color is kolir, and so on. Perhaps someday I'll make a separate video about this. It's interesting to compare. Professor Snyder ran a big lab with the participants. Of course, all the press tried to take pictures of him, but I don't like to shoot from a crowd with 50 cameras. I look for what no one else shoots. This time I waited with the camera on the corner behind the start line, and so I was shooting where there were like 3 photographers, not 50, and then I took an electric scooter and went ahead to shoot on the track itself in the middle of the forest, where there was not a single photographer, so accordingly I am the only one who has photos from there. The problem is that the rental scooter was going slower than the people running, so I had to cut the path and push through the forest instead of riding in front of everyone and just shooting the faces of happy runners. It was difficult and funny at the same time. Then I came home and sent the pictures to an agency in New York. Maybe you will see these photos in the news on Monday if I'm lucky. This is a group of runners finishing the lap. In total, about 1,000 people gathered, and the event is intended to draw attention to the fact that a huge number of our people, both military and civilians, are still in Russian captivity and suffering from torture. Today at this event, I heard the specific number for the first time. More on that in the next block. President Zelensky and intelligence chief Budanov previously refused to name it out loud. It was said from the stage just today that 28,000 Ukrainians are in Russian prisons. This is a monstrous number. This is more people than each of us may meet in our entire lives. In this photo, there are 103 people who were exchanged today. Yes, we have a prisoner exchange for 2 days in a row. I'm sure that tomorrow at the demonstration there will be a slightly different mood because Azov has finally begun to be exchanged. Understand how difficult this is. Briefly, Azov commanded the defense of Mariupol for 86 days, almost until the last bullet. 2,500 people hid in a bunker under the Azovstal plant, drank water from a hidden pipes and cooked porridge in buckets. That is, they literally stood until the end. They were ordered to lay down their arms and go into captivity in order to save lives, and then, after 3 months, they were supposed to be exchanged. But Russia not only refused to exchange them, but also performed a terrorist attack in the Olenivka colony, where a thermobaric munition was detonated when Azov soldiers went to bed at night. Then 50 to 60 people died and about 100 were wounded. And then their captivity continued. Some of them have been in captivity for the 3rd year already, and in Ukraine every weekend there are multi-thousand rallies demanding their exchange.
Не знаю, про Курщину знаєте, що Україна? Курську область, знаєте? Ми захопили частину Курської області. Серйозно.
This is a video from this exchange. A couple of Ukrainian photographers, Lipkos, are talking to soldiers who have been returned from captivity. I will translate briefly. You can hear Kursk and Sudzha. This refers to the Kursk region of Russia, which we captured. Vlada Liberova tells them that we captured the Kursk region, and this is the first reaction of a soldier who learns about it. Actually, you don't even need a translation. Just Imagine that a person for more than 2 years knew nothing at all except Russian propaganda and had to believe that his homeland still exists and that he is remembered and will be returned home. Just imagine how many amazing things he will learn. We tank the cruiser Moscow. We destroyed Russian refineries. We have liberated most of what was captured. Today, September 14, marks 105 years since the inventor from Kyiv, Ihor Syrkosky, lifted the Syrkosky VS-300 helicopter into the air in the USA. I added this blog because not so many people know that the helicopter was invented by a person from here. As Wikipedia says, the VS-300 was the first successful single-lifting rotor helicopter in the United States and the first successful helicopter to use a single vertical plane tail rotor. Formally, he was born in Kyiv during the times of the Russian Tsarist Empire, but in fact he became a world aircraft designer after immigrating to the USA in 1919 due to the collapse of the Russian Empire and the creation of Soviet Union. In Ukraine, he is considered one of the patrons of aircraft manufacturing along with the great Antonov. For some reason, such a bright mind didn't want to build planes for Soviets. Surprising, right? Again, the damned capitalists took all the best for themselves. The FPV squad of Ukrainian Armed Forces pilots Wild Hornets showed this video called the first FPV RPG. At the moment we have no information that anyone has done something like this before, and here we have the first flying RPG, and this is cool. Interesting thing, we have regular drones that can vertically drop bombs at right angle of 90 degrees. There are FPV drones that can maneuverably and quickly attack a target at different angles. There are Dragon drones with thermite that burn everything around, and now there are drones that shoot with RPG. That is, it's a smaller and cheaper version of attack drone like Bayraktar or TB2, which are expensive and hard to buy. They say that the economy wins the war, and this is also true in the sense that the winner is the one who can make weapons faster, more powerful, and cheaper. Under pressure, Ukraine is inventing new types of weapons. Look, we don't have many combat aircraft, and we invented the use of FPV drones with projectiles. We have virtually no navy, and we built powerful marine drones with explosives that sink large warships. This is innovation in action. In counteraction to our inventions, Russians bought Shahed attack drones from Iran. Today marks exactly 2 years since the first Shahed hit the center of Kyiv. I remember the day when the whole city thundered from explosions and gunfire. We didn't know what it was and how to fight it. It was very scary. Our soldiers and police shot down Shaheds with regular AKs, but of course it wasn't enough. Since then, Russia has fired, it's scary to say, 8,060 Shaheds at us. Since the first attack, we have learned to repel them. Our military has created mobile groups on pickup trucks with searchlights that chase drones at night and shoot them down with large-caliber anti-aircraft guns, and recently we added FPVs. Today is exactly 730 days since the Shaheds attacked us. If you divide 8,060 by 730 days, it turns out that on average 11 Shaheds attack us every day. But most often these are waves of 30 to 40 or sometimes 70 at once. It seems to me as if I'm describing a scenario from a movie, but in reality this happens every day and night. Video has appeared from a major operation of our intelligence in the Black Sea. In this video, 14 boats with special forces attack a gas rig called Crimea 2, which Russia stole during the annexation of Crimea in 2014. Let me remind you that back then, the Russians simply took our gas production platforms, worth about $1 billion, and simply extracted gas in our territorial waters for 10 years. I found information that during this time they extracted 13 billion cubic meters natural gas, which they sold to Europe. I very roughly calculated the cost, and it amounted to about $2,385 million on the European market. With the beginning of a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, they converted the rigs to military purposes, surveillance of the Black Sea and ammunition depot. On September 11, during a raid, our soldiers attacked the rig and during the battle shot down a Russian Su-30 fighter jet, which cost about $15 million using MANPADs. I don't know what other losses the Russians suffered. They say that some number of occupiers and equipment on the tower were destroyed. a very decent haul. I want to make this video short. There is good news here and it's a good day. I enjoyed the morning run photo shoot, and also I didn't drink coffee and didn't have time to have breakfast and did not shoot very well by my standards, but there was a cool atmosphere and happy people. And then I found out about the prisoner exchange and that 103 people are finally home. Honestly, every time I worry like it's my own family, also most likely none of my friends are there. Let this video end on a good note before another missile flies into an apartment building. Tomorrow I'll be filming a charity event session and a demonstration of families of captured soldiers. So most likely I will not have time to make a new video. We have some achievements and some losses at the front and in the Kursk region, but it is too early to talk about this publicly. Let the news brew a little. I hope you have a good and calm weekend where you are watching this video. If you want to support this channel, all the links are below. Thank you. This was my positive update on the Russian-Ukrainian war for day number 934. Take care and I hope to see you tomorrow. Or soon. Or tomorrow.